The ultimate tournament of everything.
Welcome to this Tournament of Everything Scouting Report, where we take a look at one random page off Wikipedia and read it to you so you don't have to read it to your children.
That is technically partially accurate. Now, here in this Tournament of Everything, we do hand out a lot of participation ribbons. But prior to the awarding of anything and subsequent to the rewarding of the everything, we like to just take a step out of the competition. You know, it doesn't all have to be a fight. We'll take a deep dive in these scouting reports into just one element of the infinite to see how we think it might compete and fare when we show up to the round of battle that occurs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But in this episode, we're just going to be looking in on one contestant. Rob, who are we going to be investigating presently?
We'll be galloping right along to learn about Cougar, the horse.
Aha! Well, if that's not confusing, I don't know what is, but this might be even more confusing because it's not only the first, this is Cougar the second, who apparently lived from 1966 to 1989. This was a Chilean thoroughbred racehorse who also competed in these United States, where he was inducted into the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame.
Cougar is noted for his late running style and versatility, but not only could he run, he could also sing, dance, and act. I'm adding those last three. I'm just assuming what versatility means for a racehorse. He won major stakes races on both dirt and turf. There's the versatility. Following his relocation from Chile to the United States, he was registered as Cougar 2.
Now, it was a second, but he was a triple threat, sired by Tale of Two Cities, the best of dads, the worst of dads, who was a son of Tehran, winner of the 1944 St. Leger Stakes, and the leading sire in the Great Britain and Ireland. And I think in sire they call those knights, or rather in the UK, they call sires knights. He was muscular with a long tail, which touched all the way to the ground, which is uncommon for most horses of this time.
Cougar raced in the late 1960s in Chile and was brought to the United States in 1970. He lost his first two U.S. starts, but then won a race on the dirt, followed by one on the turf. On future Hall of Fame inductee Charlie Whittingham's advice, Mary F. Jones then purchased the horse from Joe Hernandez for $125,000.
Which was a lot in the 1960s. They took all of that they'd lost, but they gained a horse and they conditioned it by Whittingham. And then Cougar scored his first stakes win in 1970 in the Escondido Handicap. Then in 71, he won the San Juan Capistrano Handicap on grass over turf, Star Fort Marcy, and defeated him again later in the season in the Ford Pinto Invitational Turf Handicap. Then he went on, he was not to be stopped in 1972, winning the Century Handicap, Oak Tree Invitational Stakes, and Carlton F. Burke Handicap, en route to receiving the 1972 Eclipse Award as American Champion Male Turf Horse.
In 1973, Cougar won the Santa Anita Handicap on dirt after finishing second in that race the two previous years. He retired at the end of the season with over $1 million in winnings, making him the first foreign-bred horse to achieve that milestone in the U.S. Now at stud, Cougar initially stood at Spendthrift Farm. He was later transferred to Stone Farm and sired his most famous offspring, Gato del Sol, who won the 1982 Kentucky Derby. During his stallion career, Cougar produced 24 stakes winners, and in June of 1989, he died at the ripe old age of 23.
Seems he had a pretty good life, though. You know, only lived to 23, but he's got a lot of offspring to, continue on after him. Definitely a millionaire within just a few years. Pretty impressive. It wouldn't be until 2006, however, that the Historic Review Committee of the National Museum of Racing's Hall of Fame selected Cougar II as Hall of Fame inductee. And in his honor, Del Mar Racetrack renamed the Escondido Handicap the Cougar II Handicap in 2007. Rob, is that not a pretty catchy name for a race?
I think that is a great name for a race, although I don't know if it's Cougar 2 or Cougar the Second or Cougar II. But what I do know is that you are listening to the ultimate tournament of everything, and you have been for the last 5 minutes. Now, if you enjoyed these 5 minutes every day of the week, we have at least 5 more, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe even 45 more, for that is when we have full length episodes.
In those full length episodes, we pit off 1 versus 1 competitors. It's like a horse versus a horse racing down the intellectual racetrack of infinity to see who will emerge victorious. And you never do know. Mostly, though, it might be a small town in Iran or a moth. They definitely have an advantage if you're betting on the podcast. However, you got to tune in to find out here on the Ultimate Tournament of Everything. So, whether it be a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, a Tuesday, or a Thursday, we hope to see you here for this wonderful, speedy episode of
The ultimate tournament of everything.